Hey everyone, welcome back. Listen to this. Eala hasn't even stepped on court for a single point in this tournament yet. And no, that number floating around isn't a typo. Hold up, it's not even for the final. It's the semi-final price. The real championship match on Sunday, April 19th, the actual final, is sitting at $517. You won't believe this, but the market has completely rewritten the rules of professional tennis overnight. And the very organization running the sport, they don't even have an explanation ready. What went down inside the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart after April 8, 2026 isn't just about ticket sales. Girl, this is a full-on pressure test of the system. The Women's Tennis Association leadership, tournament director Marcus Gunhart, operating director Anke Huber, and the entire WTA 500 structure are now facing a business reality they didn't approve and definitely didn't price. This, right here, is the Eala effect crashing into a venue with limits.
Places Zheng when has to withdraw due to injury, but fans can now look forward to seeing Alex step.
See, here's where it gets wild. On April 8, 2026, world number 37 Zheng Qinwen pulled out of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix with an injury. As the top alternate, Eala was instantly moved straight into the main draw. No qualifiers, no warm-up rounds, just like that, she's in. The announcement dropped fast, but listen to this, the market reacted even faster. The Porsche Arena is a sleek, intimate venue. It's always been known for drawing a refined, local European crowd, but girl, it was never designed for what was about to happen. Tickets for the main draw sessions? Gone. Secondary platforms like StubHub and Viagogo recorded a surge that, by the time matches began on April 13th, had the entire tennis world talking. Round of 16 seats jumped to $242 on resale, compared to an official price of about €120. Semi-final tickets? A jaw-dropping $5,984. Finals? Just $517. Yeah, the pricing logic completely flipped. The round where Eala might appear but isn't guaranteed yet is somehow the most expensive stage. The semifinal is commanding over 11 times the price of the final itself. Tournament leaders like Marcus Gunhart and Anke Huber have admitted the strain that high-demand stars place on the Porsche Arena's limited capacity. But hold up, that explanation barely scratches the surface of what's really happening here. Stuttgart isn't just buying tennis tickets anymore. It's making a calculated financial bet on the rise of one specific player. And yes, people are literally saying, "We came because she's here." So if you really want to understand Stuttgart, you have to understand what Eala actually represents in cold, hard numbers. Not hype, not rankings, real data. In early 2026, her Australian Open press conference clips on YouTube pulled in 171,000 views. Now compare that to Novak Djokovic, arguably the most decorated active player, who drew around 80,000 for similar content. That's more than double. At the 2026 BNP Paribas Open, tickets for Eala's matches sold out in just 60 seconds on digital platforms. Yeah, 1 minute. On the resale market, a potential quarterfinal featuring her climbed to $5,000, hundreds of percent above face value. By March 2026, her merchandise had already reached the #1 global sales spot among all WTA players, surpassing multiple Grand Slam champions, and her Nike signature shirt completely sold out worldwide under 72 hours. For context, listen to this. A typical celebrity merch drop usually needs weeks, sometimes months to hit that kind of value. And hold up, because this is where it gets even crazier. At just 20 years old, with a career-high ranking of number 29 reached on March 31, 2026, and already sliding back to number 46 in the weeks leading into Stuttgart, Eala is putting up commercial numbers the women's game has literally never seen before. The so-called Eala effect, or what insiders are now calling a massive, fast-moving Filipino fan wave, isn't some niche regional story. It's a global demand machine. At the 2026 Australian Open, thousands of Filipino fans flooded the outer courts just to watch her face Alicia Parks. The turnout got so intense that it actually sparked scheduling issues, forcing Melbourne Park to rethink how it handles crowd control altogether. And here's the real headline. Eala's market value has completely broken away from her ranking. That's the core truth. And honestly, it's something the Women's Tennis Association still hasn't figured out how to process. This has never happened before. And yeah, that's exactly why the Stuttgart situation goes way beyond just ticket prices. After the 2026 Miami Open, a leaked internal memo from the WTA board started circulating publicly. According to that document, officials were already dealing with a $4.7 million financial shortfall at the start of the 2026 season. And here's the shocking part. Some within the organization reportedly tried to connect that deficit to the disruption caused by Eala's unconventional commercial rise. Just think about that for a second. A governing body facing a $4.7 million gap is pointing at the very player who holds the top merchandise sales spot across the entire tour as part of the issue. Market analysts? They're not buying it. From their perspective, Eala has actually boosted the WTA's finances, driving record-breaking ticket demand and merch sales that leadership simply failed to factor into their projections. In that view, the $4.7 million gap isn't because of the Eala effect. It's proof that the WTA built its financial model on a version of the sport that no longer exists. They budgeted 2026 like it was still 2024, and Eala made sure that assumption collapsed. And then there's this term that came out of those leaked discussions, merchandising equity, which you really need to pay attention to, because it exposes the exact kind of pressure and uncertainty building inside the organization right now. As reportedly used by the WTA board, merchandising equity was their way of describing what they see as a growing imbalance. Eala's commercial output has completely outpaced her actual ranking. Let that sink in. The traditional tennis marketing model is built on a clear hierarchy where the highest-ranked players dominate visibility and brand value. But here's the twist. Alex Eala, sitting at number 46 during Stuttgart, was outselling players ranked inside the top 10 for a system that treats ranking as authority. And no, that's not some exciting breakthrough. Hold up, it's a structural disruption. Fans and analysts have started bringing what they call receipts, actual documented proof that despite leading merchandise sales across the tour, Eala has had surprisingly limited presence in official Women's Tennis Association marketing emails and promotional campaigns. The public accusation? It's bold, that the WTA may be trying to control the speed of Eala's commercial rise instead of pushing it forward. Eala's reaction to all of this has been distant, almost calculated. She stayed locked in on her development at the Rafa Nadal Academy, training under Tony Nadal and coach Johann Bosch, rather than getting pulled into the politics surrounding her interests. And honestly, that silence speaks volumes. Before Stuttgart, though, listen to this, there was already a warning sign in Linz. On April 4, 2026, just 9 days before Eala's scheduled match against Leylah Fernandez in Stuttgart, reports came out of the Linz Open, describing something you rarely see in pro tennis. Sponsors tied to the Linz event reportedly pushed for a wildcard entry specifically for Eala to protect projected revenues. Now, normally, wildcard decisions sit with tournament directors, sometimes alongside the WTA. But what do these reports suggest? Something very different. Commercial stakeholders are stepping directly into player selection just to avoid a financial hit they weren't willing to take. The WTA hasn't publicly confirmed or denied any sponsor pressure in those decisions. But when you line up what happened in Linz on April 4th with what exploded in Stuttgart just 9 days later, a $5,984 resale spike for a single semifinal session, you start seeing a pattern, a very clear one. The market, the sponsors, and the fans are all arriving at the same conclusion, independently. And the WTA, it's starting to look like the last institution to fully accept what everyone else has already priced in.
Try to continue to progress because I like her game. Obviously, She wants to get better than where she is now. She's got a lot of good hand-eye coordination and ability to take the ball early and redirect. But the fan stuff is always fun for me because whenever you see players from smaller countries, the fans are so passionate when they get up to the...
And they're doing it knowing full well that her number 46 ranking means her long-term presence in major draws isn't guaranteed. Eala is also defending 390 ranking points from her 2025 Miami Open run. If she doesn't replace those points, her ranking could slip outside the top 50 again, putting direct Grand Slam entry back into serious doubt. And trust me, the $5,984 buyer understands all of that. They're betting specifically on Stuttgart in April 2026 because this window might not stay open. The draw in Stuttgart placed Eala against Leylah Fernandez in the first round on April 13, 2026. It's their first ever meeting on the professional tour. Fernandez, with Filipino-Canadian roots through her mother, adds another layer to this matchup. Both players are left-handed. And listen to this, it's the first time two left-handers with Filipino heritage have met like this in a WTA main draw. Tournament organizers made this a featured match on day one. That decision, a direct response to the massive viewership demand driven by the Eala effect across Southeast Asia and North America. For Filipino fans worldwide, this isn't just a first-round clash, it's a heritage showdown. And the winner moves into a brutal section featuring Jasmine Paolini and world number 2 Elena Rybakina. And this is exactly where Martina Navratilova's early 2026 technical breakdown becomes critical. She praised Eala's creativity and her methodical, point-building style. She also pointed out the natural advantage of her left-handed angles as a real weapon at this level. But hold up, Navratilova didn't ignore the gaps. She flagged a clear issue with power. Against elite hitters, naming Ariana Sabalenka and Coco Gauff as benchmarks, Eala's serve still needs more weight to stand up to that level of force. And then you look at Rybakina, world number 2, one of the most physically dominant servers in the game. Stuttgart's draw, whether by design or pure chance, has lined up the exact test Navratilova warned about. And that $5,984 market? Yeah, it's paying to watch that test play out live.